everyone. Thanks for joining us, and thanks to the Bridge series for inviting me to participate. I'm Dr. Steve Vaki. I've been the bassoon professor at the University of Oregon since 2000, and I have been able to perform all over the world because I play the bassoon. So the bassoon is the bass member of the woodwind family, along with flutes, clarinets, oboes, and saxophones. Generally speaking, the bassoon has the lowest parts among those instruments. The instrument is about 9 feet long, but because of the way it's arranged, it's only about 4.5 feet tall. So when I play into it, the air goes in here, down the tube, all the way to what looks like the bottom, where it turns around. And it comes back along the opposite side, coming all the way up here to the end of the bell. That's actually where the lowest notes come out. The bassoon has been around for more than 400 years, and that means that we have a lot of music that we can play on it, and that includes solo music, ensemble including orchestra, band, and chamber music, and there are even a few jazz bassoon players. Not so easy to do on the bassoon, but possible. I started playing the bassoon when I was 10 and a half years old because I loved the sound. I first heard it and I didn't know what it was, and someone said, "That's a bassoon." And I said, "That's the instrument for me." And I've been playing it for a very long time. So I'd like to play the range of the instrument from the lowest up to, let's say, the highest. So, the top note that I played is F at the top of the treble staff, and the lowest note on the bassoon is B flat, 2 lines and a space below the bass staff, so it has a really wide range of 3.5 octaves. I'd like to play a little selection from a piece called Bassoon Set by American composer Adolphus Hailstork. This movement is very quick and it's called Vivo. One of the things I like about the bassoon so much is, in addition to the sound, is that it's really agile and flexible. As you heard in that selection of Hailstork, it can also be kind of humorous. It's easy to play short notes on the bassoon, and that usually lends it that kind of humorous quality. It can also be mysterious. You hear it in film scores a lot. You hear it on TV, usually representing something kind of funny and maybe a little bit spooky. The bassoon is a member of the double reed family, and our closest relationship there is the oboe. So the sound is produced by the double reed. In fact, without this, the bassoon does absolutely nothing. That's it. There's no sound without the reed. So, unlike the clarinet and the saxophone, where you have a single reed that affixes to the mouthpiece with a ligature, this is just cane. That's the whole thing. 2 pieces of cane held together with some wires, and this is the entire way that the sound is produced on the instrument. It may be in the family of instruments with the oboe, but the bassoon is quite different. The fingerings are extremely different. In fact, they're a little bit closer to clarinet. The key work is very different. On the bassoon, we actually cover some of the tone holes with our fingers, meaning we're in contact with the wood. One thing that's really unique about the bassoon is that the left thumb operates all of these keys. So on my instrument, I have 9 keys that I have to operate just with the left thumb, which means Bassoonists' thumbs are their most valuable fingers. The double reed is also something that oboe and bassoon players make themselves. So it's possible to buy them commercially, but just like my glasses that have a specific prescription for my eyes so that I can see well, this reed is made by me so that it functions well for my physiology, for my instrument, and for the kind of playing that I do. Now I'd like to play a short selection from a piece by American composer Rina Esmail. This piece is called Zinfandel, which is a kind of grape used to make wine. It has nothing to do with the piece, but the person who commissioned her to write it said, "Your next piece will be called Zinfandel." So here it is. It's certainly a different quality than you heard in the Hailstork example. Here, this section of Zinfandel is really declamatory, lyrical, and expressive, and I think that's a quality that the bassoon certainly has, and it's one of the qualities that I really like about it. Some would say that the bassoon can even sound like the human voice, and here I would say it's plaintive, it's supplicating, it's almost crying. So, I mentioned that the bassoon has been around for several hundred years, and even though I just played two pieces that are very recent from 2010 and 2003, I'd like to play something kind of from the earliest part of the bassoon's history. So, I have a selection from Caprices by French composer Jean-Daniel Brahn, who lived in Paris and died around 1738. In fact, these pieces were published after his death. And he was pretty clever because in his preface to the pieces he said, yes, these are for bassoon, but they could also be for flute. Just change the clef and change the key and you'll be fine. I'm thankful that we have a lot of these pieces because they're really beautiful and they're fun to play. So this caprice by Brahn is simply called Allegro. So that's a little introduction to the bassoon and what it sounds like. Thanks for joining us.